Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We're gonna go with Maddie Makes for now as a name because I'm Maddie and I like to make things. So it's the last week of June and Tour de Fleece starts this weekend, July 4th, for us in America, 4th of July, 250 years, which is pretty cool. So we'll celebrate that. But I'll be celebrating Tour de Fleece more. So let's start with what I've been working on knitting. I finished the baby cardigan I showed in last week's video, and the expecting parents seemed to really love it. They were showered with lots of homemade gifts, which I thought was really cool, especially being gifted by the younger generation, we'll say. And I've been making some progress on my Avenue tank by Toriu. I just started cords and everything. The second part of the front, I'm doing the V-neck. So here's the little neck's front. This will eventually block out nicely and be the front of my tank top. I'm using Wandering Flocks Cotton Lino. I think in Pyrite was the colorway. And using my Luca Driftwood needles. Love this interchangeable set. I've had them, oh man, probably 10 years now. I got them when I made my first sweater, which was the Weekender by Andrea Mowry. So that was really cool, and these were an exciting investment for me. I am working with US 4 needles for this project. And one of my favorite project bags from Knitting Nelly. I just love her stuff. I have 3 bags in this sock size now, which I think works nice for, a cowl, socks, small tank top, if you're not using, like keeping too much yarn in there at one time. I'm picky about my bags, but I love echinacea. Our garden's starting to bloom right now. Maybe I'll include it in a picture. We'll see how the flowers look when I go outside later. But I'm also working on an emotional support chicken. So we have the tail, body. It comes together pretty cute. This will be a gift for another friend for their son's birthday. They asked for educational gifts. I don't know if a chicken's educational, but it's pretty cute. I'm also working on a little baby blanket, car seat blanket for my sister. She is expecting in August too, but I don't have that out here right now. So those are my 3 main focuses this week, trying to get things done. I have a whole basket of whips that have been languishing, but don't we all? Hopefully the sound's okay. I only have one headphone in. I was outside gardening and weeding and lost a headphone in the brush. I definitely dug through, but could not find the little black headphone in the pile of weeds. So here we are. Back to spinning, Tour de Fleece. I've been working on clearing my bobbins, and then they were all clear, but I wanted to spin again. So I'm working on a pretty special spin. I need to finish this bobbin, and then I have another little one I need to spin up. This was my first bobbin. It's, I dyed this fiber myself. We'll see if, there we go. So the hope is to start selling fiber on Etsy. I've slowly been dyeing things up over this past winter, working on a logo, and I think Tour de Fleece is the push I need to finally get things listed and get it out there. So we'll see what happens with that. My Tour de Fleece plans, I want to do a sweater spin again this year. Last year I was trying to kind of just, it's all stash, but just use up some stash. I ended up spinning some of my singles so thin that I didn't get as much spinning done last year during Tour de Fleece, which it is what it is. But I have this really fun confetti fiber from La Bien-Aimée that I got from La Mercerie. So I am prepped. I have my fiber. They're each 4-ounce bags. So I have a mini electric EEW wheel. So I have 2 bobbins in each bag, which should work out pretty good. I'm excited I have enough bobbins now that I can do my full sweater spin and then mix up my bobbins and like get a more consistent yarn all the way through. So I have 2 bags of granite, which is this darker gray, 50% merino, 30% Shetland, 20% recycled La Bien-Aimée threads, which I love. And then my other colorway is Ephemere, number 2, Grease Ephemere. I'm gonna say light gray. Same makeup. It's same fiber content as the dark gray. I am planning on doing a 2-ply like barber pole lot yarn. So I'm not always good about sampling, but I did do a little sample and swatch, and it just makes like a nice gray yarn, nothing too crazy. Sorry, it's out of focus, but it is what it is. So I thought this was really cool, and I got it, like, noticing that the different colors that each have, like, plied in with the recycled threads, kind of gives, like, a Sari Silk vibe, hence the name Confetti. So excited to start that. Hopefully I will spin all of that up. I still have some planning to do. Tour de Fleece, it's Monday. It starts this Saturday. So I have this week to decide what else I would like to prioritize spinning wise. I'm on the Stash Dashers team, hosted by Melly Knits. This is my 3rd year spinning with them. It's super fun. Last year she introduced 2 different group options, and I joined only the Discord server, which I kind of regretted. It wasn't the same small group community as the smaller Instagram groups that she puts together. I felt like I got a lot more out of that conversation-wise, where Discord, I was just trying to like catch up on the conversation, and it's, you know, just so many more people. So that I learned my lesson. It wasn't a bad lesson to learn. But this year I will be in an Instagram small group and on the Discord large group, which I'm looking forward to. It's always such a fun time watching the weekly videos, meeting new spinners, you know, even though it's mostly online. But it's a great way to get to know people in the spinning community. Think of new ideas, techniques, everything like that. I remembered my other goal for Tour de Fleece this year. I got a support spindle at Rhinebeck this past fall. And I did get a good amount on here. I should probably take all this off. It's a Cormo fleece that I got at Rhinebeck. Also, this is the spindle. It's got some really cool like little teal aqua in there, which I love. It is from, what brand? I'll link the brand. I can't think of it right now. His counterpoint is the Woodland Pixie. I also got a really cool gradient fiber bundle at Rhinebeck from them. So these were kind of my 2, this and that bundle were my big splurge items. I knew this is what I wanted. So we started Rhinebeck, just going straight to their booth. I didn't see any of the fibers that I wanted. I'm working on what I call being brave, which is really just speaking up for myself, asking questions. And they had a display of the fiber gradient I was looking for, and I just said, is this one available? Do you have more? What are my options? Did I miss it? And they pulled out a whole tote full of the gradients ready to go. So that was my big first purchase of the day. Still working on the fiber. I tend to get distracted or excited about new things, but I'm thinking, you know, maybe if I try to set aside 10 minutes a day each morning and work on my support spindle spinning. I also got a cute little dish on Etsy to use for my spinning dish. So that's my little personal goal of something to work on, to learn, to practice. So I think that's it for spinning. I have been clearing off my bobbins, like I said, to get ready for Tour de Fleece. I'll insert a photo, maybe over here, of all the little mini skeins that I just had single bobbins of. So I like to practice my chain plying like that. If I'm like, I'm not going to use this single, I don't even know what it was from. Well, I do know what it's from, but practicing my chain plying, just getting things off the bobbins so that I can focus on Tour de Fleece and have a clean, fresh start. So, moving on to sewing. What have I been making? This past weekend, I finished, I think, my 4th pair of boxer bow boxer shorts, I don't know, from Matchy Matchy Sewing Club. I love the way they fit. They're so easy. They're cute with the bows. They're cute without the bows. I got this really fun striped fabric from Olive Juice Quilt Stores, which is one of my local fabric stores, and made them to pattern. I did add a little extra on the waistband to get kind of a cute, more paper bag, ruffly top style with the elastic. I had learned that the previous week. I followed Sid Graham's video tutorial to draft and make your own tiered skirt, which turned out super cute. I used a green shirting cotton that I had shown in my previous video, which I got at Open Studio Sewing. So that was fun to make. I followed the directions on the video to calculate measurements and things, and then I compared it to a tiered ready-to-wear dress that I already owned and really liked the fit of, and those measurements matched up pretty good, adjusted slightly. I'll throw in some pictures of my shorts and skirt here. Today I'm wearing my Sid tie dress with some Fabulism gingham, I think in the colorway Fog. I also got this at Open Studio Sewing. They are located up in the Twin Cities, but Maddie ships, which is super nice. I'm able to find some fabrics that I like around here in this area, but not everything. So it's nice to have another store I can count on to get fabric from. On the back, I sewed in a super cute label from Shelly Can that says Make Worthy. I'll show a photo here too of that, just super sweet detail. I'm having fun with the sewn on labels, if I remember to add them to my garment before I made it too far. But that's it for sewing. I did start working on a linen pajama set with a top sheet we had never used. So I did make some cute shorts. I made a top. I'm not sure what size top I cut out because it turned out way too big and flowy for sleep. I don't want to be like wrapped up in what I'm wearing. So that shirt is being gifted. So I'm pondering what pattern I want to use for my pajama top. So that's kind of just on my radar. I also have been looking for wrap skirt patterns for the red fabric I showed in my last video. I would like to get that going. I think that's it for sewing plans. I'm still enjoying sewing. It's been really fun. I'm having a hard time adjusting to I need to buy the pattern and then pay to also print the pattern. Not as, quick and instantaneous as Ravelry shopping for knitting patterns that I'm used to. Just, purchase, download on my iPad, read through, highlight my size, and I'm able to work on it. But out of the patterns I have for sewing, I've made multiples, so I do enjoy that. I did order some knit cotton from Lyrical this week, so I'm waiting for that to come. I have the Jessie T pattern printed and ready to go. I just need to trace out my size onto like some tracing paper. I like doing that, so if I want to use that pattern to make it for someone else, or I decide I might want a different size in the future, I can just retrace off of one pattern and not be constantly paying to print off new patterns. So I'm looking forward to trying to make my own t-shirts. I'm traditionally a very classic dresser, I would say. I love a good pair of jeans and a perfect t-shirt. So being able to make my own t-shirts, I think, will really add to my handmade wardrobe. Last week, one day, I wore just jeans and a ready-made shirt, and I was like, last year I would have loved this outfit, but this year I want to wear something I made every day. I already tend to do that in the winter with sweaters. A few years ago, I told myself, if I see a sweater I like at a store, why do I need to buy that when I can make it myself? Yes, it'll take longer and maybe cost more, but I know exactly the materials that are going into it, where that yarn was sourced from, who the company I'm supporting. Typically, it's, a female-owned business or a small business. So I was talking with my husband yesterday and telling him now that I can sew, how excited I am to see how my closet's going to change over the next few years, especially if, I say if, but really when I get into making my own jeans. It's inevitable at this point. But I'm really excited to see over the next few years how my closet changes. I think ready-to-wear items will be donated or gifted. I usually, when I get rid of clothes, I let my sisters or my friends go through things, see if they want any of it. I'd much rather see someone enjoying something that I had invested in, and I try to, take care of my things. So typically they look mostly new, but maybe they don't fit me anymore how I like to. They don't fit my style. They just aren't getting worn. I'm really trying to have a more intentional closet. I'm working on only really buying things that truly fit me, that I truly love, that I truly think will be worn over and over again. We do try to live, sustainably, but we like to have fun. So it'll be an adventure. It'll be cool to see how it changes. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to owning more things that I've made myself. In the winter, like I was saying before, sidetracked, I typically wear a hand knit sweater or cardigan every day. If I'm at home, I usually do wear a sweater. Sometimes I like to just, pull on a big cozy sweatshirt, but I have a pattern in mind of a sweatshirt I would like to, get printed and make my own sweatshirts. We'll see if I get ever into, making my own leggings. Those I do tend to wear at home for comfort in the winter, but we'll see where we go. I think that's all for now. I think that this, bi-weekly video uploading is good for me right now, with content. being able to show what I've been working on, progress. I really want this to be a fun channel to just, talk about what I've been working on. I don't want it to become tedious. Us makers are always, oh, you should make that to sell. You should sell what you knit. You should sell what you sew. And to me, that doesn't sound fun. I want to enjoy what I'm making. I don't want to be on a deadline. I do get a little anxious with gift knitting sometimes, but that's completely up to me and on my own timeline. I mean, if I'm making something as a gift and it's not ready in time, they don't need to know I was making it, and they can get it, at a later date as a Tuesday gift, or, I thought of you gift. But I did finish my Harlow hat. I think I took a picture. If I did, I'll insert it here. I got that mailed out to our friends for their son for his birthday, so I hope he loves it. It turned out super cool. The colors I chose, I was like, I would never put a black and white yarn with a neon yarn together, even though I love a neon and neutral. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. And hopefully next time I post, I'll have, a new tank top to show, maybe a little chicken. We will be in the middle of Tour de Fleece, so I will update on my spinning progress, any other plans I've added. If you're a Stash Dasher, say hi, reach out. But I think that's all for now. So I know this is only my second episode, but if you want to subscribe. Hoping to stick with this bi-weekly upload. And I hope you enjoyed. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing you later this month.